He was a medical student on his way to becoming a doctor. She was just looking to make some cash. One deadly encounter exposed the monster behind the mask. They called him the Craigslist Killer. Handsome. Educated. Engaged to be married. He had everything going for him. Except for the fact that he was secretly stalking women, and plotting to kill. This is the case of Philip Markoff. The man who hid behind charm, a white coat, and a deadly secret. Tonight, we pull back the curtain on a story that shocked a nation, and shattered the illusion of safety in the digital age. Boston, Massachusetts. 2009. A city buzzing with ambition. Medical schools. Hospitals. History. And at Boston University School of Medicine, 23-year-old Philip Markoff seemed like a rising star. Top of his class. Tall. Clean-cut. He had a smile that disarmed. And a future that looked bright. He lived with his fiancée, Megan McAllister. They were planning a beach wedding in August. She described him as kind, loyal, and brilliant. But Philip had a side Megan never saw. A dark side. And it was about to erupt into full view. April 14, 2009. Hotel Copley Marriott, Boston. A woman named Julissa Brisman, a 25-year-old model and masseuse, checked into the hotel to meet a new client. She had listed her massage services on Craigslist, common in the early 2000s. That night, hotel security cameras captured her escorting a man to her room. A few minutes later, screams. When hotel staff opened the door, Julissa was found on the floor, bludgeoned and shot 3 times at close range. She died in a pool of blood. No money was stolen. Her phone and laptop were still there. But nothing else made sense. Why would a killer leave behind valuables? Was it a robbery gone wrong? Or something more targeted? Police had no answers. But they had something else, a photo from the surveillance tape. It showed a man in a baseball cap. Casual. Calm. Carrying a duffel bag. It wouldn't be the only time he was caught on camera. Just 4 days earlier, on April 10th, another woman, an escort in a hotel in Boston, reported being bound, gagged, and robbed by a man who had answered her Craigslist ad. He had used zip ties, a fake name, and fled with her cash, but left her alive. The similarities were chilling. Both women had been contacted through Craigslist. Both encounters happened in upscale hotels. Both involved zip ties, violence, and cold calculation. Police connected the dots. And then, a third attempt. April 16th. Warwick, Rhode Island. Another woman met a man who matched the description. But this time, she got away. And her quick thinking helped police trace the email account used to set up the meeting. From there, they tracked the IP address. To a name, Philip Markoff. It didn't seem possible. He was a second-year med student. No criminal record. A perfect resume. A perfect fiancé. A perfect life. But behind closed doors, Philip was using burner emails, disposable phones, and fake names to target women on Craigslist. When police searched his apartment, they found a semi-automatic handgun hidden inside a hollowed-out anatomy book, zip ties, duct tape, multiple cell phones, the same duffel bag from the surveillance video, and women's underwear, some of which didn't belong to his fiancée. He was arrested on April 20, 2009, just days before his wedding. His fiancée was blindsided. The public was stunned. The media exploded. The Craigslist killer was no longer a shadowy figure. He had a name, a face, and a future he'd never lived to see. Markoff was charged with first-degree murder, armed robbery, and kidnapping. His attorneys claimed he was innocent. That the case was circumstantial. But the evidence was overwhelming. The zip ties. The gun. The video footage. The IP address. The identical MO across multiple states. He was held without bail. And while awaiting trial, something changed. Markoff began to unravel. Over the next year, Markoff's mental health deteriorated. He tried to take his life multiple times in jail, first by cutting himself, then by overdosing on toilet paper soaked with liquid. He became reclusive, detached. On August 15, 2010, the day that would have been his one-year wedding anniversary, Markoff succeeded. He wrote Megan's name in blood on the wall, along with their pet names and the date they were supposed to marry. Then, he slit major arteries in his neck and legs using a sharpened jail-issued pen. He stuffed toilet paper in his throat to ensure suffocation. Philip Markoff was 24 years old. He never stood trial. Never admitted guilt. Never explained why. But the question remains, why would a promising young man, with so much to lose, risk everything to commit brutal crimes against strangers? Was it rage? A need for control? Or was he living a double life for years, only now exposed? Some psychologists point to psychopathy, a cold detachment, a lack of remorse, hidden behind a mask of charm. Others suggest a deep compulsion toward violence, possibly sexual in nature. His stash of women's underwear raised questions about fetishism and objectification. But the truth died with him. The fallout from the Craigslist Killer case was immediate. Craigslist quickly shut down its erotic services section, bowing to public pressure. Law enforcement cracked down on similar online ads nationwide. The message was clear: even the most ordinary profiles can hide the darkest intentions. Julissa Brisman's family still grieves. Her mother once said, "I lost my only daughter. I will never know why she died. I'll never know what he was thinking." And that's what makes this case so haunting. There was no motive. No confession. No closure. Just a clean-cut killer in a lab coat, who shattered lives while smiling for the camera. He wasn't a monster hiding in shadows. He was your neighbor. Your classmate. Your doctor in training. The Craigslist Killer reminds us that evil doesn't always look like what we expect. Sometimes, it looks like everything you wanted to trust. Subscribe to the Silent Files for weekly deep dives into true crime cases that deserve to be remembered. Comment below, what do you think truly drove Philip Markoff to kill?